Welcome back. The next company on our radar comes in from the pharma and chemicals space, and we're talking about IOL Chemicals. Now, the reason we are talking to a lot of pharma companies is to try and understand what's the supply chain disruption that's playing out because of the coronavirus. And there's a lot of talk in the market. Ekta has been telling us that the intermediaries, the APIs, prices could start spiking up because of the supply chain disruption. Vijay Garg, the Joint Managing Director of IOL Chemicals, is with us now. Mr. Garg, thanks for being with us. Now, first up, I want to understand in your supply chain, ibuprofen, which is your largest product, do you stand to benefit because the Chinese have seen a disruption on their side?
Yeah, we are going to be benefit because one of the biggest producer in China is in Hubei province. They are centered in Wuhan, so their plant is under shut. Along with that, BSF in US is also on shut. So there will be a supply gap in ibuprofen. So we will be benefited out of that.
Quantify that, sir. What's the supply-demand mismatch right now? By how much have prices started moving up already, if they have? If you could give us some numbers to work with?
Yeah, if we see why Biocause produces almost 4,000 tons per annum, which is around 10% of the total world requirement. Along with that, BSF produces 8,000. Both of these companies put together becomes 30% of the total world requirement. So with the Biocause under shut, being in epicenter of the coronavirus, so already the supplies where they were supplying, customer demand is picking up every day. So we also import some intermediates, but we are keeping 6 months inventory for sodium metal, and our intermediates are coming from the other province where there is no effect of coronavirus. So we see a lot of, as 2 years back there was a problem in ibuprofen supplies, same kind of spike we are seeing this year as well.
If you could then tell us, Mr. Garg, the price of ibuprofen right now, how have they moved in the last 1 month, the prices, and what sort of inventory are you currently sitting on? You said 6 months. What's the cost of that inventory?
No, we are sitting on 6-month inventory for sodium metal, which is the main ingredient which coming from China. So presently we are having around, you can say 15 days inventory, but as far as our raw materials are concerned, we are covered for 6 months. That is what I want to say on this. As far as gap is concerned, so presently we are trading on $15. So Chinese companies who are operative, they have already increased the prices to $18. So almost $3 increase is there. So since this Biocause is stopped, so I think by next few months the Chinese supplies will be stopped for the rest of the world.
You have 10,000.
So that will again increase the prices to. My expectation is it will move to $20 this year as well.
$20 this year, and you're sitting on. I mean, you have a capacity of close to 10,000 tons per annum, I believe.
12,000 tons.
12,000, and your capacity utilization right now is?
Right now we are using 80% of the capacity.
Okay, so
till last month we were using only 80%. So we are expecting the full utilization of the capacity by another 1 or 2 months.
Okay, so this is straight mathematics. When $15, if it goes to $20, you're at 80% capacity. You can ramp up by another 20%. The only caveat here could be if the Indian government steps in and starts putting some restrictions in place. What's happening in the local market, sir? Are prices locally shooting up as well? Could there be an instance where there's a cap on exports? And I just want to understand, out of your total production, how much goes out of the country and how much is in the domestic market?
Total production, we are like operating at 800 metric ton per month. So out of that, 50% goes in export and 50% in domestic. As far as domestic market is concerned, we are not increasing the prices because in domestic market, most of our customers are on long-term basis. Like we have yearly contracts with them, like Cipla, Abbott, Sanofi, all big names are buying from us. So we have generally with them long-term contracts. So I don't think so that we will be increasing the prices in domestic market. But yes, export market is a opportunity market even for us also. So export definitely prices will go up. Where the opportunist customers are there.
All right. In that case, if you could tell us, if you're getting any increased export orders from other clients who would have otherwise been buying from China or say BASF. One, and secondly, like Surbhi asked about the Indian government. If you could tell us, is there anything that you're hearing on perhaps there could be a ban from on exports from India?
We are hearing, as we were reading last day, so there was an article where they were saying that they are planning to ban 12 products, but ibuprofen is not covered in that product because ibuprofen is not a China-dependent product. It's an independent product. There is no impact as far as the supplies is concerned, and we also, as a company, don't want to get unnecessarily advantages of this coronavirus. So that is why I think India supplies will be continue. Yes, like countries like Latin America or Asian countries are there, Vietnam, Indonesia. So these countries were where the supplies were coming from Chinese companies. So here we are already started getting the inquiries where the customers has put us on hold. They are asking, their demand is increasing. They want to build up inventories again.
Finally, sir, now boil all of this down to numbers because of this extraordinary situation that's going to play out in the fourth quarter. 9 months, I'm seeing your revenue up 15%. Your margins have already been better than last year. They're already at 30%. Now with this quasi-supply shock, at least in the international market, what do we expect on the top line and what do we expect on the margin for the full year, FY20?
Full year, if you see top line, we will cross 2,000 crores. So my expectation is with the increase of ibuprofen price, like we have only 1 month left, March is left. So I can expect only, 2,000 plus. It may be 2,100 or so. As far as margins are concerned, we have already achieved a PAT of 271. So my expectation is if we would be able to add another 110 crores is my expectation that it will touch around 380 as consolidated numbers if I see.
All right, thanks a lot, Mr. Garg, for joining in. Though the street would have liked to know whether you are going to repay any sort of debt that you have on your books and perhaps give some dividend as well with this windfall that you've gotten. But that for another day. With that, we'll simply do a short break, come back, we talk about